What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. All right, I'm gonna pull some cards and get a reading for us today, and I hope the reading resonates with someone out there. So let's see what comes up for today. So we got courage, which is the strength card in the traditional tarot. So courage. I feel like you're realizing that you are stronger than you actually thought you were. And you are well, even though this is a daisy, but you are the flower that grew from concrete. I feel like you had all of the telltale signs that you wouldn't be able to grow in these particular conditions or this particular environment. But you defy the odds and you set new standards. You allowed yourself to grow in an environment that may not have been uh, the what do you want to call it? The normal conditions in which it would have been set for you to grow. But you might have you have been able to grow in these environments. You have been able to grow under these conditions, these particular standards that have been placed upon you. And people, places, and things thought that they would be able to stack and create a barrier that would prevent you from growing, but you was able to grow anyway and branch your way out. That's what I see. So let's get some more energy on this. And I'm going to use my little cards here that I created. So this one is foundational reality, the quantum self. This is that card. So the ground of reality, consciousness as the foundation of existence itself. You are the ultimate source from which all experience emerges. So this is what this is. Like, you were the source, you were the light. You see how everything around it is like not light, but you were the ultimate foundation. Irregardless to, like I said, anything that was stacked against you, like these rocks are stacked, trying to prevent you from being able to receive any light, receive any water. But whatever you needed got to you anyway. You was always, irregardless of what the environment would or should have, would have, could have looked like, you thrived and you grown in it anyway, based upon your state of consciousness. And your mindset, your state of consciousness is the foundation for the existence that is your reality anyway. So you're realizing that you are the ultimate resource from which any experience, emerges from. You can't experience anything without you knowing that it comes from within you first. That's what I'm picking up on. So let's see what else comes out. So that's pretty good. So we got two cards. So we got Knight of Wands, adventurous, brave, daring. And then we also have the Nine of Swords, nightmare, anxiety, despair. So what I'm getting is, um, you might have, someone has gone on an adventure and they're worried about the outcome. They've taken some sort of action, and despite the underlying um, state of consciousness they was in, they took the action anyway. This is what I see. Like, they realized that just because you may be experiencing some sort of thoughts of fear, do it anyway. I'm also hearing that do it scared. Like, sometimes fear and anxiety can be some sort of immobilizing, but in this card, you wasn't immobilized. You wasn't stuck. You wasn't stagnant. Even though mentally you was feeling like this, you took the action anyway. So like I said, the conditions may not have been conducive for you to even receive the type of results that you received, but you grew through it. It may have been painful. You may have had something heavy weighing on you. See, like this rock is heavy. You had something heavy weighing on you, something trying to keep you down, but you grew anyway. You got the proper nourishment. You got the water that you needed. You got the amount of light that you needed, and maybe you didn't even need the light, because you realized that you was the light. You are the ultimate source from which all experiences emerges. Like, the light is coming from the flower itself. You're radiating that. The actions that you take are not even necessary. Now, they don't sound right. They are necessary, but I'm just saying, like, your actions outweigh the thoughts of anxiety and fear and the mental state of fucking fear. Because this what this looks like to me. Like, somebody was trying to put you in a state of fear, or you were maybe experiencing some sort of mental fear, pursuing or taking some sort of actions, but you did it anyway. That's what I'm saying. Like, you did it anyway. What's happening behind the scenes? Yeah. And I'm feeling like it was an intense feeling, an intense thoughts. Like, this anxiety was very intense, and it was supposed to keep you immobilized. But by you taking the spontaneous actions, like, I just feel like that was what was needed. And whatever the situation is, it could be the additive to my previous message that I posted before this one, about you realizing that there was no chains that was preventing you from getting wherever you want to go, becoming whoever you want to become. I also feel like this is speaking to the amount of courage you may need to have when pursuing and taking actions towards becoming a greater version of yourself, and also the amount of courage it takes for you to realize who you actually really are. Like, you are who you say you are. The only thing that's preventing you from showing up or being the person that you think you are is the actions. The thoughts might be telling you otherwise, but you have to speak that. So there's communications, messages, talk. Like, it's how you talk, it's the actions that you take. Like I said, this is an adventure. This is all about actions. And you might be feeling this in the headspace. And it might be pretty intense. But that intensity pushed you to maybe speak out against the things that was causing you anxiety. Speak out against the things that was trying to make you feel fearful about how brave you were showing up, or how brave you were in taking the actions. What's it? Okay, low vibrational end. Because again, this was like a sneaky, shady scammer. Like, not even just a sneaky, shady scammer. Like, somebody. It could be implying someone was trying to trick you out of your spot, trick you out of your blessings, get into your head, alter your state of consciousness, mess with your foundation, that create your foundation that makes you exactly who you are as an individual. So it could have been some thoughts, some ideas. It could be a person. It can be an environment that was actually trying to rob you from becoming whoever it is that you're becoming. So you stood up about it. You stood up and spoke out against this particular energy. And so when you doing that, it caused them to have a Five of Cups energy, loss, regret, disappointment. Because um I don't think that they thought that you was gonna stand up for yourself. Because ultimately, you had to be positive. You had to be optimistic about your future. Again, this is like you were the light. And this is how that energy ended up losing against you. Because I feel like it literally really wanted you to feel like this. It wanted you to feel like the Five of Cups. But by you standing up for yourself, and speaking out against this particular energy, because you realized you had power in your tongues, and once you started speaking life over your own life, you started speaking, um, being brave, speaking life over the fucking fear, over the despair, over the anxiety. You gave yourself light in the midst of this perceived nightmare. And that's how you ended up changing things for yourself. Because this was what you had your eyes on. You had your eyes on the light. And it took courage for you to do that. And maybe these people, these places, these things, this thought form, this previous old conditioned way of this old mindset, this old paradigm, thought that it was going to keep you in this energy of loss and regret and fear and anxiety. And it was pretty intense. Knight of Swords, it was pretty intense. But you got through it. You kept your eyes on your goal. You kept your eyes on your prize. You kept your eyes on source, on the universe, on God. You kept your eyes on something that was greater than this perceived threat. This perceived threat. And obviously you knew you had something. You knew you had a gift. Because only the enemy only wants to come and steal something that is value. And I feel like whatever um you have that is of value, it has to be your voice. It has to be your message. It has to be how you show up in the world. The courage that you have. So let's get a affirmation card to close it out. All right. I can pivot under any and all conditions. You have the ability to pivot under any and all conditions, but most of you are habitual in nature, and your patterns are so well entrenched that at times the fastest path to the joy you seek is from you to take your pivot as you sleep. By reaching for good feeling thoughts before you go to sleep, and then experiencing the benefit of the quiet mind that occurs while you sleep, and then upon awaking, immediately turning to good feeling thoughts, you can accomplish the ultimate pivoting experience. And I think that's what it was. Like, you took the action towards resolving this feeling of a nightmare. Like you may have experienced restless nights, but you went to sleep anyway, even though you was having nightmares or bad dreams. You spoke out. Those dreams was pretty intense. Those nightmares was intense. But you spoke out and said, this is just a dream. You looked for the significant messages in your dreams that was trying to scare you. That's also what I'm hearing. Like these dreams, these nightmares was trying to scare you, but you also realized that there had to be some sort of meanings. There was some significant messages in these dreams that you was having at night that was trying to keep you up and trying to rob you from the greatness that you was ultimately had your mind on. And by you keeping your mind on the new day, the sunrise, the sun, those nightmares lost their power. Ultimately ended up making them realize that they don't have no power over you. So that's the message. And I hope the message resonated with somebody out there. And if it did, hit that thumbs up for me. And I'll see y'all in the next one.